I'm David Kepron, Vice President of Global Design Strategies for Marriott International. I'll be doing a session at the In-Store Conference in Mumbai, India, 2018. The session, entitled New Trends in Digitally Enabled Shopping Environments, will cover both macro trends and micro trends. Specifically, the session will deal with three basic subject areas. What makes great brand experiences? What are the drivers between engagement in store or in any place where customer experience is unfolding? And how customers really take on the brands that they love into their family of brands that make up their experience set. That will really talk about things like relationships and why they're important, why spaces and places are fundamentally different, how rituals and the way we engage in brands really fundamentally informs us about what we mean in the world of the brands that we take on every day. Play, and why play is so important, and why story is fundamental to how we understand ourselves and the world and the brands that we engage with. The second section of the presentation will talk about brain science and why it's so important that we begin to understand what's happening at a brain level. Most of our experience happens below the awareness radar, and people say more than 95% of experience really is unthought, and that we are really working more from an emotional place than we are from a place of thinking about how to make a decision to buy one thing over the other. The more we know about brain science, the more we are likely to do things that remain relevant because we're triggering emotional responses in brain functional areas that drive the decision-making and emotions for guests. The third section of the presentation will talk about how we remain relevant to an emerging guest in a digitally enabled future. It's important that we understand young guests' proclivity to using their digital devices as communication tools, but also that their use of the devices are changing the way their brains work and rewiring the neurobiology of their brains so that they are fundamentally different as guests. This section will talk about how the social media network allows them to connect across a vast neural network of like-minded brand adopters in what I call this digisphere of guest experiences. We'll really dive into the ideas about looking at the brand of me and how my younger son, who I always talk about, is using his digital platform to create himself again through his social media network, and how that makes him a smart customer and also sets up his expectations about how he thinks digital experiences should be translated across to all of the guest experiences that he engages in. Because through his device, he makes stories and he makes himself relevant by using his digital device. That becomes a very interesting opportunity for retailers or anyone who provides guest experiences, because what it means is that he will begin to believe that his facility with translating his digital life through his handheld device or his computer will move across the experiences that he wants to engage in, and that he'll be able to craft experiences that'll be relevant for him. Relevant not just because he's sat back and engaged as a third-party observer of our experiences, but also that he is a first-party interactive manipulator of digital media and fundamentally connected to the making of a story of a brand. He simply doesn't watch, but actually implants himself into the making of the narrative that for him becomes more relevant. These are large features of new trends in digital media that transcend the cool new device or the app that you have on your phone, but are shaping the way we have to project how experiences will unfold and how we're setting ourselves up to simply remain relevant to an emerging guest. Those are some of the subjects that I'll try to touch on when I'm at the In-Store Asia Conference in Mumbai on February 23rd. I hope to see you there.